All right, I'll call the meeting to order. I really have to do a roll call, or are you doing that?
Roll call. I can do that. Okay, meeting called to order. Roll call. Mayor Hanson.
Here.
Jeff Smith.
Here.
Jerry Thompson. Andy Shadhari. Sam Shadhari. Deb Geyer. Bobby Anderberg.
Here.
Jason Bradley.
Here.
Tim Smith.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum.
All right, we need to elect a new chair and vice chair of the board. Any nominations for a new chair?
It can be the same person, you just have to elect a chair.
Hey, quiet in the back, please.
Just making sure Jason has a chance to keep doing that.
Normally, the person that's not here gets elected. I'm just saying.
Is it legal to nominate somebody who's not here? I would nominate Jerry Thompson to serve as chair.
I'll second that.
Okay, so we have a motion by Tim Smith for Jerry Thompson to be the new chair. A second by Jason Bradley. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Okay, that motion passes for Jerry Thompson as the chair for 2026. Vice chair nominations or motions.
Well, Bobby and Deb, you guys come quite a bit. Would either one of you would be willing to serve?
I'm
Don't-
good with
don't
it.
arm wrestle.
I'm good
Don't-
with
don't
either.
fight.
I mean, I'm always here, so now that's
She's probably here more than I know, but.
yeah, that'll be all right.
Okay, well, if that's the case, then I'm gonna nominate Bobby.
I'd second that.
Okay, so we have a motion by Jeff Smith for Bobby Anderberg to be the vice chair for 2026. A second by Tim Smith. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Okay, Bobby Anderberg is the vice chair for 2026. Okay, number 4 here, declaration of conflicts of interest. Are there any? I guess conflictions with making motions or items on the agenda? Okay. Next is to approve the agenda.
I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda to add a short executive session at the end of the meeting. And that's according to SDCL, South Dakota Law 934-19, to discuss some financial information.
I'll second it.
Okay, so that is the motion to add executive, to amend the agenda by adding executive session. Tim Smith and seconded by Bobby Anderberg. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Okay, executive session will be added to the end of the agenda. And then we still have to make a motion and a second to approve the amended agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, motion by Jason Bradley.
I'll second.
Okay, second by Tim Smith. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Okay, the amended agenda has been approved. Next is the approval of the minutes. Those are included in your packet as well as on the screen here.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, motion by Jeff,
Second.
second by Bobby. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Okay, approval of the minutes. Next, financial report. Okay, so we've included here three reports. The first one is from the Sports and Events Authority meeting here in January. I do just want to review a few numbers and a couple updates as well on it. For this is year-to-date January 7, 2026. The updates are following the January 13th Sports and Events Authority Committee meeting. We have the ending expenses for 2025. All the checks have been written. That amount was $155,450. So that would leave a remaining balance for the Sports and Events Authority of $39,190. And based on Bid 4 Board's decision, that'll be a supplemental carryover that takes place right around March or April to carry over that remaining $39,190 to the $150,000 that was designated and approved by the Bid 4 Board last year for 2026. The 2026 current expenses, that number is being updated as well. So following our SEA meeting, we had $27,200 in awarded funding for organizations and events. And we also had the $12,000 Special Olympics State Basketball Tournament committed item. That check has been written and submitted as well. So the up-to-date current expenses for 2026 is $39,200. So the current available fund balance with those updated numbers going into the Sports and Events Authority February meeting is $110,800. And that's without the supplemental carryover. That'll be added once it's done in March or April. Okay, I will just transition then right into the Bid 4 Board revenue and expense reports. I included December 31st, 2025. Basically, I just wanted to highlight the year-to-date total collection hotel occupancy tax. This isn't final. We have one establishment past due, but for right now, we are at $325,202 for year-to-date 2025, which accounts for 162,601 room nights. And in comparison to 2024, which had 150,348 room nights. So 2025 compared to 2024, we're up 12,253 room nights. And then I will continue on into, I included printed this morning is the January expense report, which again, I will go to the revenue section of that. Year to date is $11,794. which is 5,897 room nights. And then it's not on the screen, but it's included in your packet. Stephanie put together a little easier visual financial report for everybody to see here as far as what the financials have progressed here from 2025 to 2026. And that's this one here.
That includes the current and adjusted cash balance that you often ask about during the meeting.
Yep, so basically what she put together, she has the beginning cash balance of January 1st, 2025, our year-to-date receipts, which are the total collection hotel occupancy tax, our year-to-date disbursement number, our expense checks, board projects, and then that ending balance as of December 31st, 2025, which was $408,369.50. We have the obligated funds, which I mentioned, the supplemental carryover of $39,190. That will be carried over to this year's 2026 SEA revenue. That gives that available balance of $369,179.50. And then she also listed the commitments for 2026 as well, which is the SEA revenue budget of $150,000, the Play Easy core destination subscription of $4,995, and then the board project, it's the final installment of the Dakota Riptide debt service of $30,000. So those commitments minus the available balance, so that number cash balance it would be $184,184.50.
Karen, can you bring it up on the email that was sent to you, just so that people in the audience can see it as well? Might be easier. Okay.
Stephanie, as he's bringing that up, just to clarify for sure. So our ending balance is 408,000 at the end of 25,
Correct.
and then you showed what our obligations are for 26 that we know, basically at this point in time, it gets us down to the 184,
Right.
and that's before any projected collections.
Correct. That's
So we're
before
building that fund.
Yes.
Okay.
That's before any revenue for 2026.
Okay, thank you.
I think it's a little bit easier for you guys to see than to hear the walkthrough. So.
And once you're able to review, we'll take a motion to approve the financials.
So Jeff, maybe just to clarify there too, if you look at the first box that says available balance, that's the current balance for ending 2025, where it says 369,179.50, because that includes the amount that was already awarded to SEA in 2025 that hasn't been rolled forward. So you're starting 2026 at that 369,179.50.
Okay.
And then the balance there at 184 is just if you took it off the 2026 approved budget items off of that balance, that's what would be left. But you're correct, there's no additional revenue on there. But you'll have revenue coming in.
And I also wanted to make the comment of the SEA. It sure seems like they're doing a pretty decent job because the numbers are growing and the hotel nights are growing, and so that's encouraging. And I know Dave's in the audience and he sits on that board, so that's good to see that number continue to increase.
Yeah, on that note, Jeff, I did forget to touch on this, but on your screen here for 2025, the Sports and Events Authority awarded 46 events. That accounted for 102 event days. Just an updated number for 2026, SEA has awarded 16 events so far, And that has accounted or will account for 39 event days. Any other comments or questions, feedback?
I would move to approve financial report.
Okay, motion by Tim.
I'll second.
Okay, second by Jason. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Okay, financial reports have passed. Citizens input. If you need to address the board on an item that was not on the agenda, excluding personnel items, please come forward to the podium and state your name and your concern. Presentations are limited to 3 minutes. Items will be considered, but no action will be taken at this time. Okay, moving right along. An annual occurrence that we will, number 9, review the South Dakota open meeting laws. So the brochure handout here it goes a little more in detail. This can be reviewed at your convenience, but what we will go through is the slideshow or PowerPoint here that will be on the screen. Okay, open meeting laws in South Dakota. In 2025, legislature enacted SDCL 12513, which requires the annual review of the following and explanation of the open meeting laws of this state, published by the Attorney General. And number 2, any other material pertaining to the open meeting laws of this state provided by the Attorney General. Open meeting basics. Political subdivisions exercising sovereign power are required to follow the state's open meeting laws. This includes ensuring official meetings are open to the public, providing adequate notice to the public of meetings, and allowing public comment periods at official meetings. Who must follow the open meeting laws? Apply to the political subdivisions of South Dakota which exercise sovereign power. This means any public body of the city that has the authority to exercise sovereign power, such as implementing taxes, creating regulations, imposing penalties, must comply with the open meeting laws. Each public body of the city has the authority to exercise sovereign power, must also review the open meeting laws annually. What are open meetings? Open meetings include all official meetings of the political subdivision. This is when a quorum of members are present and official business of public policy of the body is discussed or decided. Open meetings include in-person meetings, but also teleconferences, group texts, and group emails that include a quorum where official business or public policy of the political subdivision is discussed or decided. How is the public notified? We post a notice within 24 hours, at least 24 hours in advance. Less than 24 hours notice is permitted under certain circumstances. The notice must include the date, time, location of the meeting, and the items proposed to be discussed. The notice must be posted at the political subdivision's principal office and on its official website. It also must be delivered to all local news media that have asked to be notified. The political subdivision is also required to provide meeting materials on its website at least 24 hours in advance, or when the materials are provided to board members, whichever is later. The public is entitled to attend open meetings and may record the meetings if the recording is reasonable, obvious, and not disruptive. The political subdivision must also allow public comment at official meetings, except for those held exclusively for certain purposes. The political subdivision may limit public comment as for the time allowed for each topic and as the total time allowed for public comment. The public is not entitled to attend or participate in a political subdivision's executive sessions. When can a meeting be closed? It can be held privately, executive sessions that are closed to the public and media. SDCL 125-2 provides several categories of discussions that may be done in executive session. Executive session may also be held when the federal or state constitution or federal or state statutes require or permit it. To enter executive session, the political subdivision must make a motion to enter executive session and cite the statute that applies to the discussions to be held. Discussions in executive session are limited to the cited statute. No action may be taken during executive session. Any questions, comments, discussion? Okay, moving right along then. The review of the SEA, the Sports and Events Authority funding matrix upgrade. So the agenda item request was included in your packet. This was put together in the November Sports and Events Authority committee meeting, and then it was approved on this December 9th by the Sports and Events Authority committee meeting. So basically, one common theme or takeaway from those SEA meetings, from the Bid 4 board meetings, from my conversations with organizations and events, it always seemed like either the question or the comment came up about the amount of funding available in 2025 for the Sports and Events Authority grant. So as a result, well, let me back up just a minute. So the funding matrix, real quickly here, was put together as just a starting point for the Sports and Events Authority. Each grant application receives gets a funding matrix put together. It basically highlights, summarizes what the event is going to bring to Mitchell, the ways it can have an economic impact, the way it can be positive to the community. And then based on those calculations within the criteria, there's a funding matrix amount that is shared with the SEA committee to basically start the conversation. That funding matrix amount is not a final number. It's not a recommended amount to grant the organization. It basically just puts together all the information. It calculates based on the funding criteria, and it has your amount. So the reevaluation of this funding matrix, I guess, was the purpose of it was to revamp it a little bit for two reasons. The first reason, to give the organizations, the events, more opportunity to potentially receive additional funding for areas such as marketing their event, expanding their event resources, and ultimately bringing more people to their event, increasing participation, which ultimately brings more people to Mitchell. The second reason, I kind of explained a little bit, but basically this additional funding criteria gives myself as well as the SEA committee, it gives us a deeper look into the event, a variety of ways to highlight that it provides Mitchell with an economic impact as well as a positive image. It basically adds more questions to it rather than looking at the organization or the application and asking the only question, how many room nights does the event provide? So you were included in your packet, I believe, as well, this Excel spreadsheet that's also on the screen, and I will make it a little more noticeable, readable here. But basically, what was updated, what was adjusted, this was based on, again, some of the Bid 4 board meetings. I also took into consideration the survey that the local hoteliers provided as far as feedback goes. So we have three priorities as far as bringing people to Mitchell. Those months for the high priority of bringing people to Mitchell, November through March. Medium priority is April through May, and then the lower priority is June through October. We did adjust, again, based on the hoteliers' survey of when they would like people in Mitchell to provide that economic impact. So we increased and adjusted the funding percentage of 60% for that high priority months, 30% April through May, and then 10% June through October. We also look to consider and award additional funding if it's a new event. Adjusted here as well, we also look to see if the event provides hotel room nights Sunday night through Thursday night. There's additional funding opportunity there. And then this was where the bulk of the research and addition came from. We looked to see if it was a youth event, a combination youth and adult, or specifically an adult event. 25% additional funding for youth, 20% for a combination, 15% funding increase for adult. We also consider if it's a team event as well, an additional 10%. And then we've also updated the question on the grant application to find out what percentage of your participants and spectators are coming from 100 plus miles of Mitchell. A little research, a few articles read, it sounded like about that 100 to 120 mile mark is when families, participants consider spending the night rather than driving back home. So if a higher percentage than 50% comes from 100 plus miles, they have the opportunity for an additional 25%. Less than 50% come, they still have the opportunity for 10%. So I guess I basically just wanted to share that update, that upgrade with the board here, and what we've seen right away. At least I think in January we had 6 applications. That funding matrix amount, at least for those 6, has helped that amount be closer to actually what the organization or event has requested on their grant application by adding these additional funding criteria. So if there's any questions or comments, be glad to expand on that. If not, I can just keep moving along. Okay, number 11, update and review of Play Easy. So it's been since September since the last Bid 4 board meeting. So I did just want to start share some of the platform statistics, numbers here with you. So basically this again is the homepage of the Play Easy platform. Each event that is awarded funding receives a post on the homepage. So this coming weekend, Mitchell hosts the 44th annual Hanson Classic. We include the logo and then basically just a brief description of the event. And that is marketed to every subscriber of Play Easy. Total events within this Play Easy platform, there's 1,489 events. Organizations across the country that are looking for host destinations and host sites to bring their event, there's 834 of those. Facilities, tournament-ready facilities within this platform, 15,749. Destinations, including the Mitchell Sports and Events Authority, 321. Active RFPs within the Play Easy platform, there's 177. And something pretty exciting for Mitchell, South Dakota and the Mitchell Sports and Events Authority. So this is the activity leaderboard that's updated each day for events that have happened. The Hoop City Classic, the Girls Hanson Classic, the Midwest Miracles, and the Boys Hanson Classic are all within the top 10 as far as unique users and page views. So being within the top 10, that is out of 1,489 events. Again, based on those users that have scanned the QR code or visited the event microsite for those 4 events. Destination-wise, the Mitchell Sports and Events Authority is number 1 out of 321 destinations. These are the unique users. Here's the accounted for page views. And then facilities, there's 15,749. The world's only Corn Palace, based again on users and page views, the world's only Corn Palace is number 1. So as a result of that, yesterday I spoke on behalf of the Mitchell Sports and Events Authority with a representative from Play Easy. They're doing a Play Easy Thought Leader Series. So basically they're reaching out to destinations that are having success using Play Easy and just asking questions about their successes, highlighting the positives, asking what's going well and how they're incorporating it with their event experience. So as a result of that, once that gets put together, I will share that with the Bid For Board as well as the Sports and Events Authority as well. Okay, we'll jump to specifically, I'll work here to wrap it up here in the next couple minutes. So the Mitchell Sports and Events Authority public destination profile, from the back side of it, I should state currently, not yet anyway, we have still not secured any events as far as through the RFPs that have been available for the Mitchell Sports and Events Authority. There have been 268 leads that have been matched to the Mitchell Sports and Events Authority. We've passed on 264. Again, the major one has been the facility indoor space for a lot of these RFPs. Lost, I guess, is a harsh word, but we did submit a RFP for the Move United Education Conference. Again, not having a local adaptive sports association was the main focal point of that. Currently, we have one open, Real American Freestyle, that is on our list and work to get more information about. And then as far as interested, there is an American Junior Golf Association Junior Championship that potentially we've had a couple discussions with Patrick Hansfield with the AJGA of looking at to bring it to Mitchell. Rapid City actually will host one here early September. Basically feedback from Patrick as well as some local representatives. Wait to see how it goes out in Rapid City, see what the details are. There is quite a substantial, don't really want to call it a bid fee, but basically $50,000 has to be provided by the host course to be able to, whether that's sponsorship wise or dues, things of that nature. But that's,
Did they say how many people or how many kids that would bring?
yeah, he was 100% confident that he would fill it with 72. International, some local, there are opportunities to have local participation, but again, it's a membership to be involved. So AJGA has a membership program. You have to be involved, and then there's different locations throughout the country. But there are opportunities to promote this locally, as well as they have, I believe, 6 spots that they try to fill with local players. And then I also just selected the NCAA Golf Championships. Play Easy has been partnering with the NCAA, so we've been seeing all the different types of championships that the NCAA offers as far as RFPs. And what the NCAA Golf Championships requires is it's a 72-hole competition, but they require 2 golf courses within that community.
What do we not have to have an NCAA team? I mean,
No, that's just I'm trying to think of the word, but no, they just want a random venue to be able to have it. Okay, hotels, again, marketed within the Mitchell Sports and Events Authority. 12 hotels, and then we also do have a microsite for the Lake Mitchell Campground, as they voluntarily submit their collections to the Bid For Board as well. Businesses, 225 microsites. And something that we've been working with here in the last probably about month and a half. Results to this coupon that all of you have here. So basically, we've put together an email that has been sent out to a bulk of the local businesses here in town for their interest in signing up, registering, creating an account to be able to manage specifically their microsite. They could update, add information, but the big kicker is they're able to, for one, view when the upcoming events, Sports and Events Authority events are happening. And then they're also able to create two different types of campaigns or promotions. One is an event-specific promotion, where again, on the back end of this, once they register, they can go specifically to the event and create a promotion for that event, whether it's a discount, a price off, a percentage off, or they're able to go to a general promotional campaign where they just put one promotion and then that shows up for all upcoming events as well. So currently we've worked with and have set up Blarney's, Bradley's, Culver's, Main Street Mercantile, Subway, the World's Only Corn Palace, Triple Play Pawn, and Water and Hole that have created accounts, have access to their local business profile. And then what that means is, with this coupon that's distributed to each SEA event, whether it's an attendee, a participant, a swimmer, a basketball team, or set out at the ticket table for our classics coming up, they have the opportunity to take this coupon, scan the QR code, and once they scan the QR code, it takes them specifically to the promotions tab on the Mitchell Sports and Events Authority microsite, displaying those businesses that have participated. Now, for the business to participate, they first have to create the account with a username and a password. And then secondly, to show up on here, they have to actively go in there and create that event-specific promotion or just a general promotional campaign to be brought up here on this list. I think that wraps up some of the successes, updates, what we've been working on with PlayEasy. If there's any questions or comments, feedback with that.
When did we just renew that?
Started the year here. Yep. Yep. And I know, the initial push from the Bid 4 board was to find kind of like that catalog per se of events, and basically PlayEasy. You have one half is the RFP, is the lead generation of those 834 organizations have the opportunity to create RFPs, submit bid criteria for your destination to host events. But the other portion, which we've done a very good job so far, obviously that activity leaderboard showing some of our smaller market options here in Mitchell, South Dakota being at the top of the leaderboard is that destination marketing event experience, giving those events, the organizations that host events here in Mitchell, just that extra boost, and obviously the opportunity to market their event to not only locally but also regionally and nationally within this platform. All right, next meeting date. I guess more or less it's what month do we feel is a necessary time to meet again? We have been meeting, 4 times a year. I can send out some dates for April prior to Memorial weekend and stuff like that. Obviously, we have Easter that falls in there, but April would be okay. I'll send 3 dates. Stay around this 3 o'clock time frame. Okay. Okay, now we need a motion to enter into executive session in accordance with SDCL 934-19, discussion of confidential trade secrets, commercial or financial information. No action will be taken at this time. Okay, motion by Tim. And second by Jeff. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, say nay. Okay, executive session at 3:41. Okay, we are out of executive session at 3:57. Meeting adjourned.